Alright, I'm starting this video by showing really quickly a couple of my black and white drawings, and I'm talking as fast as I can because dang, I flipped them quickly. This video challenge was actually sparked by a comment left on a video of mine by Simon Aaron. As I'm talking, I'm going to describe what's going on here. I'm testing these like 5-year-old markers that I have to make sure they still work. And luckily they do, so I'm able to do this challenge. Simon had commented under my last kind of hour-long random abstract drawing video, suggesting that while I draw, I have a tendency to kind of stop for a minute and then flip the paper and change directions and start drawing kind of new designs into the piece. And he suggested, it must be a he. I don't want to assume anybody's gender here, but Simon is a fairly masculine name. Correct me if I'm wrong. He commented that if I change color every time I flip the page and change the design detail, it'll make the differences in design elements more noticeable. So this piece that you're watching me draw right now, I didn't really like it. I scrapped it and decided to start the challenge all over again. So for those of you who sometimes start a drawing and then you think it's just not looking up to your standard or it doesn't fit with your aesthetic, don't worry, I do it too. I think everybody who has ever drawn more than 5 pictures has done this. Like, you start a new picture and you just don't really like it, so you start a new one. That's what I'm doing here. Anyhow, when Simon had suggested, switching colors between each different type of design element in a drawing, I started wondering why I don't like to do that. It's not that I don't like color. I absolutely love color. But for some reason when I'm drawing, it's more within my comfort zone to draw in a single dark color, whether that's black or navy blue, or even dark purple ink that I've loved to draw with in the past. I seem to prefer drawing in a monochromatic palette, like with just one pen. I'm struggling a little bit with this challenge. Like, if you're watching this and you're thinking this is a little sloppier than my work usually is, it's because I'm really not used to this medium. When drawing with marker, every time you connect one line to another line, it leaves a darker spot at the point where those two lines intersect, and I don't like that. I like the really flatness of a typical pen and ink, where no matter how many times you go over a single spot, it's always going to be black, and no matter how lightly you draw on a single spot, it's still going to be black. Like I said, it's my comfort zone to draw monochromatically. So as I was going through this challenge, I started to think a little bit more about the aesthetics of color, and I caught myself doing something that I would never do with a black pen, and that's not leaving any negative space or white space at all. I just intuitively or instinctively started coloring in all of my lines and all of the white space. And this got me really thinking about what we consider drawing and what we consider coloring and what we would consider painting. And that's the other thing. I think of color as something to do a painting or a coloring out of, if coloring is even a word for a type of art. But either coloring in a page that's been drawn separately. I don't see color as a medium to draw with. I see it as a medium to fill in a previously done drawing. So I'm curious to hear what you guys think about this, because this, to be totally honest, like to critique my own work, I don't really like the finished piece that I come up with in this video. It was a fun challenge. It definitely got me thinking about my comfort zones and my creative preferences and the mediums I'm comfortable with. It might have turned out more, draw early? Like it might have looked more like a proper drawing if I had actual fine tip pens in all of these different colors, or if I had a set of markers not limited to just 5 colors, one of which, that really pale purple. As you can see, it's very unsatisfying to draw with that pale purple one. I hardly used it at all. And it wasn't because the ink was running out, it's just that lame of a color. I don't know why the manufacturers made a color that's like 2 shades darker gray than white. But anyhow, this drawing might have looked better if I had had pens in all different colors instead of felt tip things in different colors. Because then I could have probably done my more typical line styles instead of feeling like I had to color in because the tip is so big on these. It also might have been different if I had more colors to choose from. But all in all, I think, I'm definitely going to continue just doing the drawings like I always do them. Black ink on white paper and coloring them in with watercolor paint, which I love to do, because that's how I choose to apply color into pictures. Now, I appreciated this challenge. I found it really interesting. It helped me kind of grow, at least in my understanding of why I do the things I do and why I like the things I like when it comes to art. And as I was doing it, I started to think of other mediums that I hardly ever use and that I personally don't really like pencils and even pencil crayons, and charcoal. I've always hated working with charcoal. But it made me think maybe it's time to start exploring those mediums again. Maybe I haven't given them a fair shake because I didn't like them.
All right, so this was a super fun challenge. As I mentioned while I was doing this elaborate multicolored maze of a drawing, it's not that I'm against color. I love color. I've covered one of the walls in my apartment. I'm just gonna flip my camera over and show you. One of the walls in my apartment I've started to cover in origami paper just because I love colors so much that I wanted like a feature wall, but I didn't want to limit it to being painted just one color, so I've splotched it with every color. I'll do a reveal when I finish covering that wall and kind of clean up the clutter that's in front of it to show you how this turns out, because I think it's like an interior design hack. That whole pack of origami paper I'm using, it's not even halfway used up yet. It cost less than $15 for all the paper and the tape. So I mean, if you're looking for a way to add a big pop of color in your place and you're on a limited budget, cover a wall in origami paper. That's what I'm doing. Anyhow, enough babbling. As I was saying, it's been a fun challenge to draw in color. And I just wanted to show you what I mean when I say that, to me, the ideal form of any drawing, the line work, should always be black ink or a neutral shade of ink on white paper, like a single color on white paper. The reason is that I like to go in afterwards sometimes and fill in the color. And here's a piece that I started almost a year ago, but I'm going to finish it because I just love the way it's turning out, where I used a bunch of bright colors to fill in the line work that I originally put down just in black. Don't worry about that little watercolor spill. It's easy to fix. I'll paint over that and I'll show you the finished piece for this painting in a future video. But yeah, just wanted to say, like, but I've enjoyed this challenge. It's been fun drawing with color for a change. But yeah, I love color. Usually I paint in color and I draw in black and white. I guess that's my comfort zone. It's what I'm used to. But it's been kind of neat to break free from that comfort zone and do something new. So if there's any other art challenge you'd like to see me take, or any other new kind of medium you'd like to see explored on my channel, I'm up for it. I mean, during this quarantine, what else are we gonna do but play with the art supplies that we've stockpiled over the years? So let me know in the comments. And if you're making any art, give me a link to your videos, because I'm such an art nerd that I will watch and comment and check it out. Look forward to. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.